Hello, my friends. Welcome back to another episode of Land Stories Live. I am your host, Dave Deniston of Generation Family Properties. I have the pleasure of having for the first time on the podcast a person that has bought property from us. If you look on our website, you'll notice we have a bunch of people that have been kind enough to do video testimonials, and I thought it'd be fun just to switch it up and do an interview today. So today I have the pleasure of having Charlotte Jenkins with me. Hey, Charlotte, what's up?
Hi. Not much, just enjoying the sunshine finally.
I know, right? We were just talking before we started recording. Here in Minnesota, it's as we're recording this, it's early March. It's like 40 degrees outside, which when you've been used to it was negative 20 about 3 weeks ago, and now it feels so warm. It's so weird.
I know. Yeah, we had like negative 25 with the wind chill, minus 10. So it was cold.
Is that typical in Montana where you guys
Yes.
live?
Yeah, that's why we want to leave. Well, that's not the whole reason, but that's one of the reasons.
Well, tell me about you. I know you and your husband bought this property from us in New Mexico. What's your guys' story? Are you from Montana originally, or where do you hail from?
No, we're both from California. I was born and raised in California. We moved to New Mexico in 1992, lived there for about 5 years, and then moved to Texas for 4 years and went back for another 5 years. And then I got a job teaching in Nevada and left New Mexico, which was probably the worst decision we ever made.
Oh.
But we've always wanted to go back, and we've been looking at land for probably about at least 8 years.
Wow.
And, I was looking at other places going, oh, maybe up north would be good, because we lived in Ruidoso for during the time that we were in New Mexico, and we loved it because we loved the mountains and we liked the 4 seasons instead of just 2.
Yes.
So we're excited to get back, and we're actually able to afford a piece of land and hopefully build our dream home on it soon. Within 2 years, we'd like to be down there. So we're going to go down this summer and see what we need to do and see it and see the area again, because it's been so long since we've been there.
Yes. Well, and tell me about just these different places you've lived. Just kind of, you lived in Montana now, you've lived in Nevada, you lived in New Mexico. Just run us through kind of pros and cons. What have you liked, not like about kind of each of those places?
What we liked about New Mexico was the people. The seasons, the weather is really good. Even, I love the snow, but I don't like 9 months of snow like we get up in Montana. I love Montana, don't get me wrong, but it's windy here. The winds get up to 70 miles an hour, and I don't like that. And we lived in Las Vegas. It was closer to my family because they live in Southern California. And so we decided to move there, and I got a teaching job. We lived there for about 5 years, and then went up to Northern Nevada to Elko area and really liked that. But my husband decided that he wanted to find another job, and we came up here to Montana, and we've been here for almost 11 years. So,
well, I think what's interesting about each of the places, I think, what I was surprised to learn about New Mexico was just how many trees there are up in the mountains. Like when I had visited New Mexico, my parents and I did a trip all around the Western US. I was raised in California too. And there was so much desert. We saw the white sands in New Mexico.
yeah.
And, we saw some of the Indian ruins and stuff like that. And none of that was in the mountains. So I had in my mind, desert and sand and not the beautiful trees that you get in New Mexico. Nevada, I think that Elko area, pretty deserty in general.
Yeah.
What's been your experience desert living versus, kind of up in the mountains?
Well, being raised in Southern California, I miss the beach.
Yeah.
But there's no way we'd ever go back just because too many people and too, I just don't want to go back. But we love the mountains, and we used to ski. My husband actually learned how to ski in Rodoso.
Oh, fun.
So, it's just we like the trees, and there's the lake up there, Bonito Lake in Rodoso, and then Cloudcroft. We had our honeymoon in Cloudcroft.
Mm.
So we were married in Ruidoso, and then we went to Vegas, and we liked it. It was nice because everything was close and shopping and stuff like that. But it's a big city, and I just didn't want to be in a big city anymore. And it was too hot in the summertime. And we're hikers, and we like to be outside. And we did a lot of hiking in New Mexico, so we're going to be able to do that again. And we do it here in the summer in Montana, but it's just the season's so short, like 3 months long instead of 6 months long.
Yes, yes, absolutely. So it sounds like, you love New Mexico, you love the Rio Doso area, and so you started to look for land. Do you remember, how did you find us? How did you come to, how did we come together?
It was just I just typed in my browser New Mexico land for sale, and it was easy as that. So and then I found you. I'm like, I told Bill, I go, look at this land, because I was looking at like southwestern New Mexico, like around Silver City and stuff like that.
Sure.
And then I'm going, well, let's check this out. And I'm going, that's like in Otero County. We know Alamogordo, we know Las Cruces, we know Ruidoso, we know Cloudcroft, and I know how beautiful it is, and I know how the weather is. So let's look and see what they had. And I'm going, no, this is it. And I told Bill, I go, look, you got to look at this. And he goes, what? And I go, it's land. He goes, really? I go, yeah. And because the other plots were like 5 acres or 5 to 10 to 100
Sure.
acres,
Yeah.
and we didn't want that big of a piece of property. So I wanted at least an acre, but we might expand, to an acre.
And I would recommend you do, if at all possible, and certainly it's something that we do try and help people with. We can't guarantee it because people have to be willing to sell. If they're not willing to sell, it's hard to do. But,
Right.
I think the more space you have, the better. I think what's interesting to me as an investor, we go in these different areas, we buy the land, and there's so many counties to choose from, so many places. I'm learning all the time new places, and like, oh, I like to buy land there and there and there and there. And what appealed to me about this area certainly was the trees, and the prices were so good. When I was shopping out land, I was looking at Rio Doso, and it was like 10 times or more, what we could buy in this area in Timberon. I was learning a little bit about the history. Have you ever looked into the kind of the history of the area at all?
Not, no, we basically looked, because living in Ruidoso, we went to Lincoln County. We know all about that, Billy the Kid and all that. But my husband probably has, but I haven't because I have my own home business and stuff like that. So I'm pretty busy, and then I have a part-time job. So that keeps me from doing a lot of reading. But my husband does all the reading, and he relays the information to me.
Well, I recommend there's a great resource, timberon.org. So you might want to check that out because it just has all kinds of good resources on the utility companies and history. Like there's really cool history on that website that talks about how this one gentleman bought this huge tract of land, and he bought it from I think it was the U.S. government or the state of New Mexico, can't remember which, but he actually had some Hollywood connection. So he set up like a lodge with the idea of like attracting movie stars and film studios and stuff like that. And that's how it all really started. And then fast forward to the 70s, there was a developer that came in and subdivided everything. And so that's how we kind of got to where we are today. And what I like about this area, which you bought this land in Timberon, is you have a golf course there. You got airport if you love to fly. You got the hiking, you got the hunting. You have a couple of small restaurants. So there's some stuff there. It's not like you're completely out in the middle of nowhere, but you still have lots of privacy. So still, for me, it's fun being able to tell people, oh, there's some stuff you can do. It's
Yeah.
not completely out in the desert or something where you have to drive for miles and miles and miles and miles to get somewhere.
Yeah. And that's kind of what what we want, because our town where we live now, it's a small town. I don't we don't have any 10,000 people here, and we have a grocery store and about three or four restaurants, and that's about it. A medical center and stuff like that. So, but like we're halfway between two big cities, so it's a good place to be right now, especially with COVID and stuff like that. So
Yes. Oh, what a crazy world we've been in, and hopefully, across the fingers, everything will be getting better
yeah.
in the next few months. I'm curious to know, Charlotte, before you started buying and you were looking at the land, maybe you got excited. Were you feeling any fear at all, about buying land? And I know a lot of folks we talk to are concerned, about scams and stuff like that.
Um, yeah, a little bit, yeah. Yeah.
So
Because
tell
I'm
us.
like, okay, what if this is a scam and stuff like that? And for some reason we just kind of had confidence in it, and my husband is a thinker. I'm the one that's very spontaneous, and he goes, okay, we'll do it. I'm going, really? He goes, yeah. I go, oh, okay. That's normally me, not him. And so, I'm going, what if this is a scam? And stuff. So yeah, I mean, especially since we haven't even seen the property yet, it's like, okay, I was communicating with Kristy, I don't know,
Mhm.
and I go, what's it like? Is it flat? Because my husband doesn't want anything on a hillside and stuff like that. She goes, no, it's pretty level and stuff like that. And so, we just felt really good about it. I don't know. It just felt comfortable.
I love it. I love it. And tell me about, what was the process like? So walk us through from your end. So you found a property, you said we like this property. What happened next?
Um, what happened next? I don't remember. It all happened so fast. I go, okay, we're gonna do this. And she what did she do? I don't remember. We just looked at it, and um I sent her, the next day I sent her the money, and she sent me the contract. And my husband looked over it and stuff like that. And okay, we're getting ready to make our payment and stuff like that. So it's been really easy. It's like, wait a minute, this is just too easy. Why is it too easy? Because and then my husband's been talking to somebody at work about buying land down there, and he's been looking at an acre or something like that, and he goes, I can't believe it's so easy. No credit check, no you know background history or anything like that. And so, I mean, we've had our trials financially, so that really helped us to be able to buy the land. Um, so, because of my husband's divorce and stuff like that. So, um, it was easy. It was like too easy. It's like, okay, if it's too easy, they say it's a scam. So,
Well, what I suggest people to do, if you're ever feeling that, right, we can send you proof that we own the property so that it's not a scam. If we've owned the property long enough, it'll show up on the assessor's side. It'll show up on the GIS map. Some of these things they don't update for a whole year. So if we bought a property a few months ago, it may not be showing up. I think the one you guys bought, we had bought 9 months ago or something.
oh,
So you could see it on the assessor side. And certainly we have nothing to hide, right? We want to be as transparent as possible. We're happy to send people a copy of the deed, whatever. Did Kristy show any of that to you? I can't remember. what happened in that part of the
I
process?
don't I don't think so. I don't
Okay.
think I asked. We just had faith. We're just that kind of people. It's like,
Well, I'm so glad we had the chance to work together, um, I'm curious, what would you tell other people about this experience and what it's been like to buy the land?
it's been a blessing for us because it feels like now we have a direction that we're going in because we knew we weren't going to stay in Montana forever. And so just being, buying a house is like gonna would be impossible because we're older and my husband's getting ready to retire and we just don't want to take out a huge loan to buy a house that's not worth what they're asking for. And now we can put what we want on it, build. If I want a yurt, then I can get a yurt. If I want to build a small log home, then we can do that, which is my dream house.
Yes.
And stuff like that because it's in the mountains and it's just like something that I've always wanted. And it's not going to be huge, but it'll be paid for. And that's
Hmm.
our goal, to have the land paid for and in a few months, and then be able to start going down and cutting some trees down.
Yes. Well,
Uh,
what I think was so smart about what you guys did was you did basically about a 1 year financing thing. So you didn't get any interest that way. You got to lock in the price at what it was. I'm curious about your decision to do that, because you could have chosen 2 years or 3 years or 4 years. Why did you choose paying it off in 1 year?
because we want just because financially that's a smart thing to do. And then, if we decide, well, maybe this isn't going to work, then we could probably sell it, but I don't think that's going to happen. Because I mean, there's water lines to
Yeah.
it, there's already power to it. So why give it up? And that's kind of why we didn't go with the acre land, because it didn't have those amenities to it already. And so just because we're going to be here 2 more years, I mean, we wanted to make sure that that's already there and that we can go down there and start, seeing what we are going to need to do before we actually get there, because we have a trailer that we'll probably live in while we're building a house.
That's
So,
perfect.
yeah.
No, I agree with you. I think that's one thing that I love about the area is some of the lots, quite a few of them have water out there. And so, and there's no association at this
Yeah.
point. So there's no HOA telling you what you can and can't do. You just have to follow the county rules
Yeah.
and those kinds of things. So,
Yeah, and
um,
we did not want to get into an association because we were in that before, and it's like, you're telling me what I can and cannot do to my own property. That's not fair. So,
totally.
yeah. So we didn't want to get into that again.
Well, Charlotte, this has been great just getting to know you some and hearing about your experience. And if someone is listening to this or they're watching this down the road, what would you say to them, about our company, about the process, about the land? What would you say to folks?
Say, don't be afraid, because we've been through it, and it's easy. It's actually been fun and exciting to look forward to our future in New Mexico.
I love it. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing you guys getting there and seeing what you build. You have to send me some pictures or send Kristy some pictures as you enjoy being on the property.
We will.
So,
Yeah.
well, thank you, Charlotte. So good to have you here. Any other closing thoughts you want to leave with us?
No, I think that's about it.
All right, my friends. Well, there you go. You hear from Charlotte. And if you have any other questions about land we have, reach us. We're transparent. We're here for you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.